Sources say that a brand or branding is more than a logo. They say that the logo doesn't define the value, the quality, or the importance of the brand, that the significance of the brand is more weighted in its beliefs or in its customer experience, its customer service, its customer dealings, maybe its function. And that can be true, that all of that is true. There's value in that frame of mind. However, depending on how you look at it and who is looking at it, that would indicate that the brand can exist outside of the logo, or that the logo is its importance or its power is minimized in comparison to the grander scheme of things when it comes to the brand or the branding. And I would disagree with that in part, and I'll explain why. A logo is not just an identifier. It's not just an item or a tool or a product that is at the whim or beck and call of the brand, but it is in fact the key catalyst for bringing a consumer, a customer, a person, a user into the brand's world. The logo, in many instances, is the first impression. So when you meet someone for the first time and you decided to, you were invited to their house, let's say, and you decided that day that you wanted to wear your comfy socks that had the holes in them. The instant that they ask you to remove your shoes in order to enter their home, you will be branded as, you will be identified as, dare I say, logoed as the person with the holy socks. And when I say holy, I don't mean in the spiritual sense. They will always remember you by that single image, a hole in the socks. Now, as your relationship grows and deepens and develops, you might be able to laugh about it. You might be able to have a rapport around or inside humor associated with holes in socks. They might buy you holes as, or not holes, they might buy you socks as a gift, and they might put a hole in it. Or they might find some sock that is supposed to be funny and it has holes in it, but it's not actually holes. Whatever. I'm going down a rabbit hole. But that would be your identifier. But in the context of this conversation, it would be your logo. When you go to someone's home, one of the first things you see outside of the environment surrounding it is the door. When you walk up to the home, you know that the entrance into this person's world that they have invited you into or to partake in is the door. You cannot get into their world. You cannot get into their home, to understand who they are, to understand what they do, how they live, what they eat, what they think, what their perspective is. You cannot spend the time to understand them without going through the door. So a logo is not just, like I said, an identifier. It's not just this singular image that is insignificant to the grander operation of, branding. A logo doesn't just point to the name, doesn't just point to the identity, doesn't just point to the environment. Well, I won't say environment because that's going to mess up my later point. It doesn't just point to a singular element. It points to this environment. So again, when you go to someone's home, you see the hydrangea bushes in front of their home. You see the picket fence. You might see an iron fence. You might see that they have daylilies. You might see that they have hostas. You might see that there's a walking path that is cobblestone, that is brick inlaid. You might see that they have pea gravel along that path. You might see that they have freshly cut grass with the lines in it. Or you might see that they have a sand garden in the front. You might see a water fountain or bird bath. You may see garden beds that have like a cottage garden feel or asymmetrically designed floral arrangements. You may see some trees, some hydrangea trees or some lilac trees, let's say. You might see a rose vine that's going up the side of the house. And you're taking all of that in. That's I'll say the first setting or the foundational environment. And then you go up to the door and you see not only is the door big, it's grand, but it looks like it's handmade. It looks like a craftsman carved out every corner of the door. The handles are heavy or iron, and it has floral, intricate decorations on it. I want to say embroidery, but that's not the right word. And it makes you think, who are these people? Whose house am I about to enter? Was it like this when they bought it? Did they select the door themselves? Did they commission an artist to make it? And you're intrigued. You are enticed. You are brought in. You are, I don't want to say it, dare I say, entranced, lured. You're a fish on a hook being reeled in. And now, if you're anything like me, you're going to say, let me look for continuity. Let me look for consistency. Let me look for symmetry. What other elements of this door can I find within the home, within the people? Who does this door say they are? And will I find traces or hints of that essence as I spend time with them in this instance and in future instances? Am I willing to ask them about the origins of this door, or to try to understand it more deeply in order to understand and comprehend who they are and what their home represents? So I could go back and I could talk about the flowers and the pathway and all that kind of stuff. We could say that that's messaging. We could say that all of those things that lead you up to the door are the tasters. It's the whetting of the appetite. It's the values and beliefs that are sprinkled, that are, sprayed into the ambiance for you to bask in. We could say that it is the trailer, it is the preview, it is the palate cleanser before you, or the hors d'oeuvres, the starter before you enter into the or not even the starter, actually. Let's not say the starter or the hors d'oeuvres. Let's say it's the amuse-bouche. Even better. Amuse-bouche. It's a taste of certain elements of the chef's identity that lures you in deeper to this palatable experience. And so the logo maybe is the hors d'oeuvre or the starter course, the first course. I like course meals, so let's say that. So if we ask the question, is branding more than a logo? Yes. One cannot exist without the other, because the logo leads you into the deeper identity of the brand, those values and qualities and importance, things that our people talk about. But the logo cannot exist without a world that its path takes you to. That's it. All right.